The Myrtle Beach Women's Club is on an upward swing. Find out why. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Conference Center on the Grand Strand campus of Horry Georgetown Technical College. We're focused on our show sponsor, the Myrtle Beach Herald, and we're visiting with one of its longtime columnists, Sharlene Zwing. Friends and neighbors, good morning,
Thank you for having me this morning.
And the acting, the reigning, the supreme there at Myrtle Beach Women's Club, the amazing nonprofit of the year, 3 years in a row here in the Myrtle Beach area. Congratulations.
We're proud of that. Thank you.
Those last 3 years, Shar. Absolutely. I love your stylish glasses the day before Thanksgiving.
I'm ready for Thanksgiving. You?
Yeah, even purple, kind of the new colors of Thanksgiving.
Fall.
I like that. That's right. Thanks for coming in. What about this conference center? They do a great job.
This place is beautiful. I really didn't realize that it was such a nice place. I think it could be utilized for a lot of things now that I'm looking at it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, last week, obviously, the same room was set up for the big luncheon they had to honor many of the local philanthropists, a lot of local folks, and obviously the Women's Club and so many others out here to recognize some great folks.
We were glad to be here to recognize you, Greg. Philanthropy Lunch was a big thing, National Philanthropy Day, and this was a nice place for it.
It really was, absolutely. How about big plans tomorrow, Shar? You got some big plans for Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah, luckily, I have a big family. So Thanksgiving is family. My daughter will be coming home from college. And, of course, we'll have the traditional yummy Thanksgiving dinner, which they're all looking forward to. And, of course, she's more into it now that she's eating dorm food. So that always makes it better. And then we have the traditional embarrassment, the mother embarrassing the children by making them wear bowling shirts. And we all go bowling.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, we all go to the bowling alley in the afternoon. And now we have the Amaze Zwing Bowlers T-shirts. So they have to put on their T-shirts and go and be embarrassed. It's a fabulous day.
That is great, Char. Good for you, putting the pressure on. Of course, you and your daughter having been outnumbered by, I guess, the 3 guys. Is that right?
Yeah, but we have a good showing, and if nothing else, we try to get the nicest looking shoes.
That is fantastic. Wow. What about that in the column? As I think about it, of course, trying to get out of the Thanksgiving mode, but into the column mode. Friends and Neighbors has been around now almost 15 years.
Again, an amazing tradition. That's another amazing tradition, yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to believe things go that fast. When it all started, I would have had no idea that today I'd still be a part of it. And yet today, the way that it's grown and how it's been in our community, it's been a blessing to have had something that long.
Right.
Writing that column, you think every single month, I don't know if I can, think of one more thing each month, but somehow there's so many great things going on in the community, and now they've wrapped around the Herald trying to give information that it's actually been an incredible thing.
A lot of folks feed you good information. I mean, obviously you're out on the street to making sure your ears are down there, probably checking out some Thanksgiving luncheons aside from y'all's bowling trip tomorrow. I hear about some big feasts that are probably happening tomorrow around town.
Yes, and those things you kind of do have to ask about. People don't really, get into telling you their personal holiday things, but a lot of times there are people who want to make someone happy, just to put a smile on their face. That's most of the things that get sent in, and those are the things that I really like, the very small details that someone will say, my neighbor was so excited because for the first time in her life she got a car that was not used. That type of thing just makes that neighbor so excited they have no idea how that showed up in the paper. And of course we keep those, we keep those private.
Your sources
absolutely,
absolutely.
We encourage them to give information. As long as it is happy information that would make someone feel good, it's just something I love to have. And so that's more the thing that they feed me now. And I'm always amazed. I am amazed at people who I don't know who read the Herald, and they read it, have read it a long time, and have an interest in being sure that someone they love is featured in it. I think that that's been a great thing. People that are from other parts of the community, people I may not know, but I know their children. It's been something for me, too, to really learn.
I bet a lot of folks hadn't thought about that. I mean, they think about reporters and confidentiality, but of course all the columnists who are oftentimes provided good information about somebody of interest in the community they want to highlight, and in that instance where you've got neighbors or folks from all over that are sending you information, someone may not even want to promote themselves as having gotten a new car or their child
That's
having won
right.
a scholarship. But at the same time, you get it in there, in the end, they're happy about it, and of course, you have to
generally,
keep
if you
sourcing.
ask them, if I was to call you and ask you, can I have some more details about your new car? They'll say, oh, that's not important. Please don't feel, and a lot of times they'll get to the point where they say, let's not do that.
Right.
In which case, I don't. I mean, if I've asked and they say no, then I certainly would not.
Right.
And so if it is someone that I've checked the story out, and I know from the source what has occurred, usually I'll talk to someone else, then I try to kind of just make it light and put something like that in, because truthfully no one wants to brag. They always try to cut back and say, no, please don't say that about me. But they are always excited. I'll run into someone I don't even know, like when we were at the convention center for Taste of the Town, and people will come and say, thank you so much for writing about my grandson. It was so exciting to see his name in the paper, and I don't know the grandmother, but she knows that it was there. That's really neat. And again, I try to tell my sources, I said, don't worry about it, because generally I can't remember who told me. I'll be out somewhere and someone will tell you 5 things.
Right.
And you're not writing them down. You're trying to put them in your card catalog in your head.
Sure.
And so you really can't remember sometimes who your source was. People say, who told you that? I know it was someone. I really sometimes don't even know.
Sure, of course, yeah.
But we definitely try to keep it to something that would be something someone would be proud to see their name. We would never want to. Sometimes people try to refer to those as gossip. We don't want anything that would relate at all to gossip or would embarrass you in any way to see your name there.
Exactly right. And of course, your proximity to Mary Jo Rogers' column, which has got a great following, the Feeling Fit.
She's a good
fabulous,
source I can't mention too.
Oh, is that right? Oh, good.
Oh yeah, that helps us a lot. Definitely, we work well together.
Absolutely. She really turns it on. Even recently, a great practical piece last week that's still in the newsstands today, Wednesday, but it'll be off tomorrow. A great piece about clutter and just getting your life together, and oftentimes the house, doing room by room, just a little thing there. So I think it's a great compliment to your column and hers. A compliment to you of having her column close by, vice versa.
We usually convert. If there's something in there, I might call her and say, oh, that was really interesting. I enjoyed it. And she'll say, oh, let me think. What went on this week? Because she's busy. She's a busy person in the community, too. So for that to be a community page where we can share information back and forth, and I am not a person who enjoys working out. It's just not my forte. So some of those columns, I have to say, Mary Jo, that was a good one, because I can do that. You know,
I can probably work out right now.
I have to see what I possibly can do, because and she'll say, oh, I have to think about the fact people either can't fit in time or and it spurs her on too. We work great together.
Absolutely.
But that's kind of the way everybody is in the Herald. A lot of those things, we're just community people. And so when we see each other, run into each other, we think of something for each other that helps out a lot.
I'm amazed at the columns that have now been. Of course, it's 4 years ago this week that I completed the purchase of the sale of Debbie Harwell, who was instrumental, obviously, in launching the Herald back in the early 90s. There was a period she owned, and then she sold it to a group of 10 local owners, later bought it back from them, and then kindly sold it to me right at 4 years ago. And as I think about some of the columns that have been with us now, not like yours that have been with us more than a decade, but some of the columns that have been with us on a 3.5 year period, and some of the profiles, the Veteran of the Week, the Public Servant of the Week, the Public Safety Profile, and then we think about Faith Takes Root, Greg Thompson, who's an administrator here at Horry Georgetown Tech and very popular pastor there at Redemption Church in Conway. And then Mary Jo Rogers, about 3.5 years, and obviously Min Alexander, Solo in America, one of the only Hispanic-based columns in the state that's actually translated into Spanish every single week for 3.5 years now. When you think about the impact, as well as even some of the newer pieces, Realtor of the Week and otherwise, that are coming on strong. I almost don't want to mention any Betty Moses column, obviously My Senior Moment, the Internet column, one of the few Internet columns probably in the Southeast, if not in the country, every week, week after week, pounding something that's of interest. I think we've been well ahead of the curve as it relates, and obviously the local content.
Can you look at them? They're locals. All those people are active locals. Talk about talent. You've got local talent writing something in that paper. it fits the whole community profile to me. To me, it fits because every single one of them are a talent in their area, writing for a local paper. And that's, I think, what gives people the reason to want to pick it up. They may know these people. They may admire the fact that they're doing their business here in this community and then giving some information to them in the paper. I think that's what makes it different from reading a column from some wonderful people who may write from California. They don't have the same flavor as we have here, and we are still the independent republic, and we like to believe that we can have it all here. I think that is really what makes the Herald a powerful thing, that people pick it up. And people say that to me all the time. Charlene, I always pick up the Herald, and I will switch to, and they'll tell me, I look at this one, this one, and this one, and then I go back. You know, I think that's what does it, is that blend that you've put together of those people.
We do have a couple of, one regional and one national. Obviously, Bill O'Reilly from the Fox News Channel has got a popular following, and then a woman who a lot of folks think of as a local now, that she's been with us, that Mary Edie introduced us to, Rhonda Rich, Dixie Divas, which has a very popular following. A woman I talked to yesterday afternoon in thinking about her column there, which even hits a chord with lots of guys. I'm amazed how many guys find her column, Dixie Divas, as a very popular one. So
men don't like to say these things, Greg. They really don't.
Well,
they don't, but they do. I can tell you a lot of men will say that about my column. They'll say, I read your column, and I like, how come I don't have enough information from men then? Well, they don't tend to share as much, but I can tell you that men do read those because they find a great interest in the same kinds of things. But of course they don't spread it as much. So you're right about Dixie Divas, same kind of thing. They don't like to, they'll say to me, we were at a breakfast restaurant, a bunch of guys were looking over your paper, and they saw, blah, and I say, amazing how you don't tell that to everybody, do you? But I'm glad that you tell it to me. Give me some help. I need some help on the guys.
Absolutely. You need to mention that to some of the guys at the Herald themselves. Joe Ruizzi, our amazing political cartoonist, another one-of-a-kind in the state, Robert Ariel at the state, and some other folks around the state. Not too many political or creative cartoonists that are doing it on a local basis. Talk to these guys. Talk to him, Steve Porter, Tom O'Dare, Stamey, and some of the others, even Kent Strobel, our Realtor of the Week columnist, Tom Mazer, and others. Get them to provide you. I bet you, Char, and it's a great point. We need to think about more interaction from our small crew, since there is a great presence there, and since we are obviously the largest paid weekly in Horry County now. We want to tap each other as well as we can. Myrtle Beach Women's Club coming on strong now, just having celebrated your 40th anniversary, I believe. You're now in your 41st year.
That's true.
Yeah. What's it like as the president there? I know you've been obviously instrumental helping them work hard each year for the Nonprofit of the Year piece, those $10,000, and recently that $15,000 check this past March. Working hard on that. But the Women's Club is reinvesting every single one of those dollars right back into the community. It's amazing.
It's really, when you talk about those kind of things, it's difficult to right away say something because, I'll be honest with you, it's an honor. It is an honor to be able to serve, to have the time to serve your community in that capacity. And it's an honor to be with this group of people. We have people in that club that have been there 10 or more years in one club. Now, that sounds like a lot, but I have people in that club that have been in the club 30 years. 30 years.
Wow.
And when you think of the honor of being with someone who has dedicated that much time to their community for fundraising, it really instills in you a drive, which is really kind of where we went with the money you were discussing, that the Herald's always gone. That became a drive. We want to be known as the best nonprofit in town. And we want to be known for that because that same money will go to a lot of those people who may not have won. We take that same money every year, and more than $12,000 is reinvested back in automatically, without question, to a lot of the groups in town.
Wow.
The rest of it we determine each year where it goes. But to think that you have a full scholarship at Coastal Carolina and at Horry Georgetown Tech for a student in need from that organization is an amazing thing. It's hard enough just to pay a scholarship.
That is.
And then the additional to the other groups, and then the additional that we try to put back that is just straight community service, where we're not really earning a dollar, but we're proving that we're there to help.
Well, the great thing about the Myrtle Beach Women's Club is that you'd been doing those scholarships well before you were winning the Nonprofit of the Year piece. I mean, those scholarships have been around a long time.
They have, but they weren't full scholarships. So that enabled us to give full scholarships. We were able to help to depending on how much we made in a year. But this way we've determined that with that money, for a fact, we were going to take out the full scholarships first, and then from the rest of our fundraising, we would determine some of the other needs.
Sure.
And it's been incredible out at the college, just the colleges, I should say.
Sure.
Just the attention we've gotten from students, understanding. Those ladies, and now it's a it can be a man or a lady to get the scholarship.
Oh, good. Absolutely.
Now, but those ladies that it has been in the past, they've worked with us. They've come and worked when we're doing an event. I mean, they see that how hard we work for something, they also want to give back. That's been incredible.
Well, I'm going to encourage viewers, whether they go to myrtlebeachwomansclub.com or if they go to, let's say, a popular search engine like Google, and just type in 4 words, nonprofit of the year. Just type in those 4 words, probably get 50 million results. #1 in the world is nonprofitoftheyear.com. You click it, and then, of course, there's a link to Myrtle Beach as well as a handful of other cities. You click Myrtle Beach and obviously the page highlighting your win and a link back to the wins from 2004 and 2005. So there's a great thing, and that's whether you type in nonprofit with a dash, with a space, or nonprofit as one word. It's still #1 in the world, 50, 60, 70 million results worldwide at a popular search engine like Google. Myrtle Beach Women's Club's there year after year. So congratulations.
We're proud of that.
Good luck.
Very proud
this year,
of that.
Obviously, we won't know the results for this year's voting, which wrapped up on November 11th, a couple of weeks ago. Some ferocious voting this year online. Hundreds of folks voting online this year that we'd never seen in the Myrtle Beach area, and hundreds of ballots coming in, print ballots, which are being validated right now with a group down in Charleston that's actually going through all the ballots and validating all of the votes there. So hopefully we'll have results in the next couple of months, and obviously we'll be announcing. And good luck. Obviously,
Thank you.
A lot of tremendous nonprofits.
Thank you and the Herald for that.
Oh, yeah.
That's an incredible thing to be able to give to a nonprofit.
We're very blessed. We got about 10 minutes, Shard, and we want to think about so many of the other groups. You mentioned your family, your daughter, who I think's at Furman, is it?
She
Who's
is.
coming back. Also, your hubby here in town, and you have three other children.
I have 3 boys still here.
Wow.
Yes.
All here locally.
We were talking about that earlier. We were talking about how much food they will go through tomorrow, and yes, 3 growing boys go through a lot of food.
Oh, I bet they do. Is that at all intimidating for them that their mom's a popular local columnist, that folks will talk to them about?
Oh, how funny. Do you think they know that? I don't think they know half of the things. I just know this. They know that anything I'm involved in the school is embarrassing. Did you have to do that? That's embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
The other day, I'm at the middle school, and my son's like, I know you're the president. Do you have to be here for the fundraiser?
Oh,
I was like, I could hide in a good place.
Yeah.
I don't think that they know any of those things. They just know
great.
my mother seems to be around all the time, and she knows everybody. I can't get away with anything.
Right. That's hilarious. Yes, I have seen you've been very active with Myrtle Beach Middle PTO, of course, the Myrtle Beach Education Foundation, a litany of others, an Horry County School Board, kind of an advisory group. Aside from your service, many years on the Myrtle Beach City Council, the Community Parents Board.
Yes.
The Community Parents Board, which was a great, a lot of folks obviously not knowing about the Community Parents Board, very active, as we had Larry Bragg on a couple of months ago, highlighting, when you either enter Myrtle Beach or when you've left Myrtle Beach, or where there are little pockets, as he discussed on Highway 501, when you're just not in the city of Myrtle Beach.
Incredible job they've done.
Yeah,
it's a difficult job, and it's an incredible job that board has done.
Right.
Yes, I don't know. I seem to have a lifelong learning issue, but I just find everything interesting. And luckily, my husband gives me the opportunity, and my job gives me the opportunity to be able to do that. So I can't say anything other than I'm very fortunate to be able to have the time to be able to do that.
Share with viewers real quick what the job is. Zwing Advertising and Designs.
Again, an amazing thing I believe that is a blessing to me is our small business. We're a very small business.
Right.
Sometimes you come in, there might be a child there or a dog there. You really don't know.
Right.
But we have been fortunate enough to have the clients that we've had from the very beginning still now. And I believe we're in 25 years on that.
Come on.
And the very first client we have, we still have. I mean, it's it really is an amazing thing. But I have a very, very creative husband.
Right.
I think it's a God-given talent that he has, and he could do nothing more than a great job there. And I think people who want to work with someone who does their work directly are proud to be able to work with him.
Right.
So it's been a great thing. It's nothing like having a job you like and having extracurricular time and being able to work in your community.
Wow, sure.
Can't have anything
Yeah.
to say about that.
You know, one of the other things that I saw was so fascinating to review, and there was a couple of page document that Sherry, our producer, provided me. I think it was something that was submitted on your behalf for a statewide award, which was great, and good luck with that. But there was a piece, the Myrtle Beach Police Department has a Citizens Police Academy. Of course, I believe it's held out here now.
Yes.
On the former Myrtle Beach Air Force Base off of Shine Avenue there at the police training facility.
Yes.
Another beautiful facility out here on the former Air Force Base, which is really taken some of these old buildings and done some wonderful things with. What was that like? As a
That's a really neat thing. I encourage anybody to do that. The year I did it was the first year it came out.
Is that right?
It was.
First year.
It was the inaugural year, of
Right.
course. As soon as it came out, I looked at it and said, oh, that might interest me. My husband said, why? I don't know. It interests me. But to say that I met a lot of people in that I still know today. And now they've opened that up. At the time, it was only for Myrtle Beach citizens or if you owned a business. Now it's open for students. And it's open for others in our general area. And it gives you a great insight into your police department, what they do and how they do, and it makes it a whole lot easier to understand when things are going around town. That was an amazing experience, and we have an amazing group of men and women who try very hard to make this community the best it can be. And I'm really proud of that group.
Oh yeah, sure. Share with viewers, for folks who haven't seen your column, obviously our viewers in the PD, in southeastern North Carolina, or even local folks who may not have seen it here in the Grand Strand, what's the best way to get in touch with you if they've got something that they want to get to you, get some information to you about something happening in the Myrtle Beach area or close to home, even one of your neighbors next door who may not know all about exactly what you do? What's the best way? Is it calling the Herald?
I do think that calling the Herald is the easiest way.
Right.
That way we have a contact phone number.
Right.
On my column is an email address, but I also need a contact phone number, of course, so I can call you back and talk with you about what it is about. But definitely the easiest thing is the Herald, and that number is so simple. It's 626-3131. I mean, no one can forget that.
No, that's
so
right.
if you just call there, they will get in touch with me, and then I can get in touch with you and find out what interesting things going on with your friends and family.
Absolutely. Viewers can also go online to myrtlebeachherald.com.
Yes.
Popular website, a lot of great information on there. And, of course, Friends and Neighbors is there as well.
And it's a great way to send it to someone.
Right.
Most people will write me and say, I really like to get a hold of something to send to my grandmother in Florida. Well, it's easy. You can go to the myrtlebeachherald.com, click on it, and send it right over that way.
Email this piece, and it does go out very well. It's also great where your column's laid out to be able to rip out pieces. I remember sending one recently, I think, to Elizabeth Teal when her son had been honored with his Eagle Scout piece,
yes.
which was great. A great shot of him and his parents and obviously his brother there from your column, which I was able to send to her. And then I saw it in the North Myrtle Beach Times as well. Another great picture. Someone else was there and was able to rip it out and try to get it off to him. And there's other folks that are being recognized not only in the Herald but in all the community papers locally.
That's right.
The Ori Independent, the Ainer Journal, the North Myrtle Beach Times, the Coastal Observer, community newspapers, really, not to take away from the Sun News, which is obviously has a very important role here locally as well, but great to highlight.
I'm sure I'm in a bunch of people's wedding books or baby books,
Great
and so
point,
I
Char.
feel
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
going to look young in 40 years when this baby grows up and looks and sees, oh, my mother or dad was recognized here.
That's great.
So yeah, it's a living thing for sure.
You do remember that first column? We just got a couple of minutes, Char, from
I remember
almost
that first
15
column.
years ago. I think the Herald is in 2008 will be celebrating its 15th year. Again, thanks to Debbie Harwell, who was so instrumental really setting everything
Getting
right.
it started.
Getting it started. But share with viewers real quick about your first column.
As I said, Debbie called one day, was just talking about the paper and what she was doing. And she said, I need to fill up this paper with information. You know, if you get any ideas, let me know. And then she said, you tell funny stories. I tell you what, why don't you tell a funny story about your kid for a while? I said, okay, fine. I wrote a funny story. I told a funny story about something somebody said in the car the other day. So the column really evolved from telling some funny stories, which do wear out, and plus the kids don't want to see that you're telling their stories,
Oh, yeah.
to really addressing some things going on in town. It started with a funny story, then had 2 or 3 other people's kind of cute stories. That was the beginning. And then it just went on to kind of telling shorter and as many as you can get. I really enjoy trying to get everyone in when it's new.
It's amazing how many things. Folks do need to go there. They need to pick up one in an area box from Brook Green Gardens up to Barefoot Landing, over into Carolina Forest. There's boxes, more than 100 boxes up and down the Strand. We're adding another 50 boxes in first quarter in March. So we'll have a much bigger presence there along the Strand and beginning to get in a lot more convenience stores and other grocery stores locally. So we have a lot more places to pick it up, but right now they can go out and get copies of it. And obviously go to Section A, see not only the other tremendous columns, but focus there on Friends and Neighbors.
How about get a subscription? That subscription is not
Great
expensive
answer.
at all.
Great answer.
I tell people that all the time. It's crazy. Just have it delivered to your house. It costs virtually nothing to have that thing come to your home. Don't even look for a box.
Thanks for that
I think
plug,
that's easier.
Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Sharlene Zwing coming up next. You know, it is the Myrtle Beach Herald, but pick up last week's copy. You'll see pictures of the North Myrtle Beach Middle School mock trial team up there in North Myrtle Beach. You'll see someone riding a horse in Horry County, rolling into Myrtle Beach, Sherry Singleton. You'll also see some tremendous snippets from all over the community. Think about that first column almost 15 years ago, writing about her maybe first, possibly even her second child, not her third or fourth. There was many more great stories to come. Of course, they'll be out bowling tomorrow, but you can check her out online at myrtlebeachherald.com or pick up a copy in area boxes today.